welcome to Benchwarmers, a Woso podcast, episode 22. We've already got people clicking off after that. That's for Ona Battier right there. That's sure. The only 22 that comes in my head right now.
Oh, okay. Not this one. Not
that
me.
one. Not
me.
You. Are you 22?
I've always been 22.
You're just number 22. You're perennially yes. 22. All right, we'll take it. Game's a game. But I mean, I party like it is 2022. I mean, that's how I feel when I'm thinking about Woso, at least. But we are going to fly through what has been an absolute monumental week in Woso. And I know it feels like we say this every week, but like this is one to remember, I will say. If we start in the WSL, we are going to start with the marquee game of the round. What was touted as first v second, City hosting Chelsea at the Etihad. And this game was, ultimately when we play Chelsea, it's kind of the middest of the rivalries at the top. I think it's more interesting when we play you or when you play Chelsea. Like, I feel like there is more rivalry and stake and fire in the game.
Do you think it's because like the rivalry isn't as set in stone? There's not many players that come from the same team switching over. There isn't there are Emma Hayes era.
We don't have many Chelsea players. They have more of our players, like I think of Lucy Bronze and Kira Walsh, and obviously there's players that move around. But I feel like the rivalry has been the lack of rivalry has been based on them kind of dominating us for quite a bit, and us just looking at them like they're good and they're levels above us, and we don't really mount that challenge except when there's no stakes in it. But that is all about to change. That is dumb. It is a rivalry now because of what just happened. This was demolition at the Etihad, and that's all this will be remembered for. We were unchanged. We had one bench edition, which we will get to later on. I mean, if you can't tell by the background, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-1. I 5-1 to be a Chelsea fan listening to this podcast, but their lineup was crazy. Honestly, I saw the lineup. I saw Berman and LJ and Nusk on the bench, JRK on the bench, Kerr on the bench, no Charles, no Myra, no Bronze. I don't know where Macario is. It was just such a weird lineup, and I felt relatively confident considering we lost to them not even a week ago, which was ultimately a game where I was pretty happy about. I think a lot of City fans are a bit meh about it, but I kind of thought that it was an immense second half performance. We deserved more, and I think we came into this game thinking we are going to deserve more, but it started off relatively slow. I think people will forget that in this 5-1 is that there was a lot of scrappy, chaotic movements. Rose was missing passes, Kanak was missing passes, LBB scuffing plays across the ball, but they're doing their fair share of misses. Berman, Walsh, Germa all struggling to find their footing in this game. Even that edge of the box foul from Erin Cuthbert, that's very uncharacteristic of her, especially on Bunny.
She just looked rattled all game. And I think I was saying too, I think that she was arguably the most willing Chelsea player for the 90 that, or for the less than 90
maybe 80. You could argue 80, but even maybe not for the whole 90.
Just the grit that she showed, especially in the middle of the park, the willingness to even take shots. I mean, like for the rest of the Chelsea team, it just kind of looked like a team that didn't rock up, very similar to the game against us, and a team that was so unwilling to even attempt to make an effort, kind of having that mindset that Sonia had last week when she went in her press conference saying that the league was over.
That I think, and even if she didn't mean it, your words matter. This is what matters for coaches, and it doesn't matter if you take them back. It doesn't matter. The mentality of the club shifts when your leader, your chosen person, makes a little fluffy joke. Jokes all contain an element of truth in them. That's why they're funny, right? That's why she can laugh it off. But the reality is that I have to thank Arsenal in a way. You absolutely shot their confidence. They didn't come to this game to win it, and we have been doing LCL was a tough match, and I think that was that had to happen because it made us wake up, realize that there were faults in our game. Yeah. There needed to be a wake up. It was kind of this perfect storm where you absolutely humbled them. And then, again, Yeglert said in the pre-match press conference, he told our players to stay humble. Like, we're 9 points ahead, and I know it's hilarious for a City manager to tell their players to stay humble, but it was crucial in the sense of that we can respect them, and we can be 9 points ahead and be like, la-di-da this game, but we did what we have been doing this whole year, which is getting the deadlock broken early. And sometimes you need a bit of luck, and in this game, I'm not going to lie, I know 5-1 doesn't seem like a lot of luck, but there were moments where things just went our way, right? AJ clearly listens to the pod. Yui is no longer on corners, and Caspi's taking corners, and I think Caspi will take a few more corners now, unless Coffee's on the field. But Viv flicks that backwards header. It bounces off the £1 million fraud that is Naomi Girma. Hempo puts pressure. I mean, Hempo is going to get her flowers today. Oh my God. There were so many second chance efforts, the efforts that go unnoticed in games. But that pressure she put on Hampton and Berman to clear the ball, they had to clear it hastily. And that's why it falls to Kerolin, who fires the ball, deflects off Ellie. Perfect start for us. Still nervy, and this is what happens to City. I thought we were going to fall into old habits where we stay 1-0 up and we weather a bit of a storm, and that's kind of their chances. The Walsh long shot, the LJ long shot, the Cuthbert long shot. These are low percentage chances. Which
very similar to the Arsenal game as well, the long shot thing.
And it doesn't work. And you see Millie Bright complaining at the end of the game, saying, like, we had more shots than them in the first half. Look at the shot map. Look where they're from. None of them are high XG. They didn't accrue a high level of XG in the first half, considering how many chances they had. And taking pot shots with your midfielders or your tens is not. It's not good enough to beat what I'm going to say. I mean, a lot of people I know are not convinced about Yamashita. I'm happy to say she's nearly a top 3 goalkeeper right now. I think she's pulled a level of consistency.
Right now, she's better than Hannah Hampton.
Yeah,
genuinely, she's better than Hannah Hampton.
I'd love to say that. I mean, in that game, and her form hike is better. But if I had to pick one,
name a more influential game. Like, the Yamashita's had more influential games this season than Hannah Hampton has.
I think that is endemic. Chelsea, I feel like that is endemic of the Chelsea team performance. I understand that Hampton also needs to step up and make sure that even when they're getting beaten in games, that she can put her moments on the platter and get the man of the matches that she can get, and the ones she does for England show. But I think you can argue on form that Yama is right now as a shot stopper. I don't know if she's the leader on the pitch the way Hampton is, and the distribution is different, but it wasn't meant to be. They couldn't find the chances. They couldn't find the goal. And then it was 2-0. And this goal is everything about Man City this season that I've loved, everything about Man City that all rival fans fear, which is Vivian Miedema playing the ball into Bunny, but not really that well. It doesn't even have to be well. It's turning into, I mean, for City fans, for Menso fans out there, remember when De Bruyne wasn't even looking to play the ball to Haaland? Like, that ball was kind of average, but Bunny just absolutely takes takes the position, destroys her. She flies to the floor, and then the finish, to have the composure to put it around Hampton like that for the 2-0. And also, let's not forget about the Yui Hasagawa interception on Captine as well. I think a lot of Chelsea fans can now see that the midfield is struggling, and Captine is low-key the scapegoat for this, is that, like, she's the one getting the criticism, but the reality is that the midfield mix, the 3 at the back, they get flooded, they get pounded through the middle when they're trying to play so wide, and it doesn't work, and it let Viv run the middle of the park for this game. And I mean, I know Kerolin is going to get the man of the matches and all the plaudits, and everyone's going to say she's been player of the week, but anyone who watched this game can watch Viv's 90, and it was just masterful. It was absolutely the second chance efforts, the defensive efforts, the tracking to the right, to the left, every which way she was going was just sublime. Like, I feel like she didn't take a wrong step. It was arguably one of the best front four performances complete on all fronts. Like, sometimes Hempo has a poor game. I didn't even mention, by the way, Hempo needs to work on those aerial crosses. I don't know what was going on early on, but along the ground, sweet, fine, the drilled cross, but the loopy ones, Jesus, it's like...
She's given the assist merchant over to Beth Mead. That's why.
Maybe that's why. Maybe she's just too good of friends with Beth. But the second half, I mean, we went into that 2-0. 2-0 is a tough score to go into because you think,
but
okay,
I didn't
it
even
could go either way. But they didn't.
I genuinely didn't even see Chelsea getting back into this game. Like you mentioned even earlier, like, I mean, Chelsea had a little bit of a barrage right after you scored your first goal. But honestly, there were such such chances where I wouldn't even expect like a Chelsea team in a cup game against some like, you know, random first division team in England to even, you know, produce. This is a lazy performance by Chelsea. And then that's why in the second half, you just ran all over them.
Yeah, and it started way quicker in the second than the first. We were quick to get up, and it looked like I mean, you said it in the Arsenal game. You said, you asked me the question, you were like, do you think they were up for this game?
Yeah.
They were less up for this game in a way in that second half.
Yeah.
5 minutes in, that corner, this is the goal. This is the goal that kills off the game, the perfect time to score. But they have a corner. Their corner doesn't go to plan with their set piece. And then Hempo again. It's Hempo and Viv. They're not necessarily getting the assists, but they're making
the goal involvement.
It difficult for those chances. Like Ellie at the edge of the box is probably is a half chance, but that's what ends up being a goal because Hempo's desperation. We want to win the league more than them. And then that 50-50 gets played to Kerolin in space. And I mean... Jesus Christ. I mean, is there a faster player with the ball than
It reminded me
Kerolin
of Caicedo. It really
I mean, fair enough, but also I would argue that she's more clinical than Caicedo. There's an argument to say she's played only 7 matches in the league this season, but she's in the team of the season.
But she's had a better 7 matches. She's had a better 7 matches than Caicedo has had on a run ever.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. She's had a goal or an assist contribution in all of her 7 games. She has 3 WSL player of the matches in a row, and she's in a team with Viv, Bunny, and Yui. And like you're in a team with world-class players, which makes you end up playing to a level that I didn't know she had. Like I thought she was amazing, but I didn't think she was scoring a hat-trick against Chelsea amazing. Put it that way.
Is this endemic of the Yeglet system, or is this endemic of a player rejuvenated coming into a season that you were already prosperous in, that you were already doing so well in? Because she had the break at the start of the season for personal reasons, comes into a team that isn't struggling, isn't, you know, needing her for goals, but rather is using her as just another outlet. I mean, we had Caspi on the right-hand side, right? You have Kerolin now on the other side, on that right-hand side as well. And you're just using that right, but now you're also using the left-hand side. You're just using more and more and adding more and more avenues to goals.
And I'll give Caspi her flowers defensively. I feel like everyone talks about her attacking prowess. She locked up Thompson a lot in that first half. It was really, really good. But I want to answer your question. I think it's part of both. Like, prosperous team, you go in with good vibes, the confidence in training is there. But let's not forget, Fugino was on the right side getting player of the matches as well. And I think when you're looking at the ability for a player to get into a side that's prosperous and build off the form that's already happened, you have to play seriously well to knock Fugino, who had 3 player of the matches, was averaging 7.7, averaging nearly 8 out of 10 a game, and putting balls in the back of the net with, again, that shot chart shows her clinical nature. She's arguably been more clinical than Fugino, and it was just so good, and it just kept going. So after the 49th minute goal, it was 53. 4 minutes later, Viv makes that tackle on, I believe it was Ellie again, got pressed, and then Hempo plays it to Hempo, and then Hempo was in all this space, plays it across to Sandy. I feel like Hampton probably should have saved it, but this was the hat-trick for Kerolin, and this is the first hat-trick against Chelsea since Viv in 2018 for Arsenal, and Viv again just being all over, like, rent-free in Chelsea's brain when it matters. Sometimes it is just like, sometimes I'm just thinking, is she the best winger in the league right now? Is it Hempo? Is it Is it Liv Smith? Like, there's so many options on the left side, and now the right side. It's starting to build up to this team of the season, and I'm thinking Kerolin's performances are making it very difficult now to leave her out.
The WSL is now starting to produce more and more of this type of winger. I think that we tried to tend, especially last season, I saw a trend towards like the LJ type of winger, the type of winger who's press resistant, who likes to play the ball in like a 10, but is equally very good on the wing. But now we're seeing like a real Jogo Bonito type, winger. Beth Mead is now not very much favoured in that type of winger position to someone like Liv Smith. Kerolin is now so much more favoured in terms of, any of the wingers in the WSL right now. So I think that there's a genuine trend and a general trend towards ball players.
Yeah, managers are trying to get more isolation for wingers. So it means that they have to have a bag of tricks. They have to have a step over. They have to have a hesitation. And I think Kerolin embodies that in the way in which the trend is going. But, I mean, it's not like Chelsea didn't have more chances in this second half. Yama, that LBB slips, does her Gerrard impression, but Captain skies it. Like, it's not good enough. That's how you get back in this game. Then LJ had that scuffed kick. Like, just everything was going wrong for them. I know Alyssa Thompson got that consolation, did well to separate from Coffey, and then a good side netting finish. But it was not long before Hempo was played in by Bunny, should have scored, but then from the corner, Viv heads it in and kills the game, right? It's 3 minutes later, we're answering the call of what they've done. And then AJ, listening to the podcast once again, Fuji on, Coffee on, Clinton on, Coombs, Uabi. I didn't even know, are you allowed to make 6 subs in a game? Like,
it was one made because of a head injury. Because
I think that's why. I think if there's an injury, then it's 5 plus the injury, or it's a bit of like shoddy work. You say it's a head injury, and then it's an extra sub. But the last, but definitely not least of the subs was Mary Fowler. As you can see, the 4 behind. I've been waiting for this moment for nearly a year, 323 days. Crazy that it's only been 320 days, but it felt like a long time. Came back, looked good. Again, you're not going to look spectacular coming out, but I mean, a few nice, like those, those Mary no-look scuffed ground passes. That was nice to see, good to watch. But I mean, of the substitutions, I got to say, Grace Clinton running around like 5-1. We could have closed up shop, sat back. She was trying to get into this. She's playing like she's playing like she's broke, but she's playing like she's trying to get in the first team. That's what it is. And like she had so many chances created for others. She was pressing like a mad woman. And I was just like thinking to myself, I'm like, this is what we need. This is what we need. We need Clinton to be our first player off the bench because she's so hungry to be on the field that if knock on wood, Viv goes down, knock on wood, any of that midfield, LBB goes down, it's Coffee or Clinton, and she wants to make it a conversation because right now it is a conversation. And
it wasn't a conversation, how many weeks ago.
Yeah. No, exactly. When we're bringing in Coffee, it was like, maybe Clinton's out of the shell, but also probably watching Jess Park do it at Manchester United is probably firing her up in ways that we can't really imagine. But that was the back-to-back defeat. First time for Chelsea in 10 years. Back-to-back defeats for Sonia for the first time ever. And people are still asking for her to get sacked, which is crazy, by the way.
But do you think that this is a bit, and I know we'll talk about this later, but do you think this is a bit on Sonia? Because, I mean, Chelsea come back from 2 years ago. Emma Hayes says the exact same statement about Chelsea not being able to win the league. And then a week later, absolutely steamroll past their opposition. So much so that they just completely run away with the league. And Sonia says the same thing, and it's a completely unmotivated side. I don't know if there's a disconnect. I know that players are unsatisfied with Sonia. I mean, Kat Macario is probably the perfect example. But to me, this looks like a team that either Sonia is unable to motivate, or because of Sonia, they are not motivated.
I mean, part of management is the player management. It's not just like no one would ever say that Sonia isn't a football genius. I mean, the accolades, the style of football is masterful, right? But certain players at Chelsea, the archetypes you have in there, the characters you have in there, Macario, JRK, Lauren James, Sam
yeah.
Kerr. These are players that don't just need tactical geniuses. They need man managers. They need player managers. They need people who they want to play for. Players that want to die on their sword for their gaff. And Sonia, I don't feel like, I mean, again, hard, you're stepping into the Hayes role. You stepped in really well last year, but when injuries come, there needs to be a little bit more pragmatism from arguably, I would say, one of the most idealistic managers in world football. It didn't seem like they were going to change that three at the back. It didn't feel like they were regressing in ways. They were trying to be aggressive, but it just was one of those days where it wasn't going well for them. And this season has been an absolute dream run on the other side for Andre Eglerts. This is the longest win streak for a debut manager in the Prem. 16 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses in a row since the Chelsea loss. The fact that there's no draws in that is absolutely insane. Like, the lack of drop points, the ability to hold on to results. I know our defense gets talked about a lot, that, AG at left back isn't the answer if we're playing in the Champions League against a good winger. Like, again, we're going to come up against Arsenal soon, and Liv Smith versus AG will be a very good battle. But, I mean, you can't question when the games are just going our way right now, and Rose and Kanak doing a job. I think both of them are putting their names up for team of the season in ways that I didn't expect, especially Jade Rose. I think she stepped up to the plate. And I mean, there's no point going into every single player that had a job to do in that game, because it was a full team performance. But I am going to end, obviously, perfect performance for my lot. I have to end with a song. This is called Game. We're going to have fun with this. This is obviously AJ Eglerts is back live and direct. And we'll see how we go with this. If it's not good enough, we're just going to cut straight to the United Liverpool game. But we'll give it a go. And here we go. AG, time to win a cup. Sonia, that's game. Couldn't come handle the press as we dominate front four's insane. You aren't going to be safe. 5-1 away ends the title race.
Sitting 12 points back 3 got back by my boy AJ.
When Bunny run down, that's game. Right Kerolin, left hemp insane. Viv Miedemar, set them all up. Back of the net, Hannah Hampton, shame. When Goma went down, that's game. Sonia's blues went up in flames. Need Lucy Bronze? What's going on? I can tell you league title's gone.
It was so good. Your raps are like 10 times better than like any of your like
than the
real,
songs.
like,
Yeah, because I can't sing. No,
but just like, the lyrics are just 1,000 times better.
I mean, yeah, it's easier. It's easier to fix up rap because you can just fit as many words in there. United doing what they needed to do against Liverpool with a little bit of adverse moments. Liverpool look fresh. They do look like a much better outlet. Yeah. There's no question about that. But, I mean, some interesting changes, 2 changes for United, Nelson and Turlin.
I called it.
Nailed it.
I think it was the right move for Turlin to come back in. And not just because Schuler is a bench warmer and because she needs to come off and be a super sub, but because Turlin is just much more accustomed to the Skinners type of football and that whip it in and that long ball over. She just knows how to play that type of game. And it showed in this game because most of the opportunities came for Manchester United, but they also didn't necessarily come from Turlin. I actually think that Jess Park had one of her better games for United. I mean, you can talk about a little bit about Jess Park and how you think her transition now more than half a season over has been, but I think it's been exceptional.
It's just sublime. Like, she's just always in the right place, never out of... Like, she was a player that... Like, I think if you're going to beat United, she's the one who has to ghost. She's the one you have to target. But when they're running all over you, they're putting the pressure on you with their higher press, and they're working off the left side. I just think it works well. And Nelson, I mean, just turning up in the right positions at the right time and scoring goals, putting the ball in the back of the net the way Schuler and Vangerheim just didn't really so far as they've come in. And even Turlin had some good moments, but I mean, Falk is making Liverpool, I mean, very flat. I mean, flattered to deceive with the scoreline, but the reality was that Falk kept Liverpool in this game for a very long time. And it was 1-1 at one point, I believe.
Yeah, it was 1-1. So United scored first, and then literally 2 minutes later from a corner, I was scrappy as hell, and Liverpool smashed it in. But I think Falk is just such a calming presence in the back. She's obviously a leader in this team, having only just come in. But Liverpool still do have have problems, especially in the back line, clearing the ball. I mean, they kind of dawdle around in the ball in the box, and it's very frustrating as a neutral because I don't want Manchester United to win. So
No,
I'm obviously rooting for Liverpool, and I'm just like yelling, just get the ball out. And these small passes, this kind of rigidity to system, which I understand because you want to be able to trust the system that Gaz has put in, but short passes in the box, playing out from the back, that's not the Liverpool way, and that's not going to get them to win any games moving forward. I mean, Liverpool here were trying to get their second win of the whole league campaign, whilst United were trying to get second of the table. So, like, there's an obvious disparity difference, and Liverpool should have gone into this game very much like they did actually go into this game, which is sit back, defend, clear the ball, smash it out, and look for long balls. When they did that, they were playing at their best. When they weren't, Manchester United could capitalise.
100%. And I think when it was 1-1, I did think it was a bit of like, it was just a bit like when, it's not now, if not now, when. And I mean, it happened to be Nelson again, and that second strike was arguably better than the first. Set up by Park as well. It was just everything. It shows Skinner to be a very competent coach. And then I think the subs make him even more competent because he brings on Friedo and he brings on Lundqvist, the Swedish dynamo duo. And I think Lundqvist is the real deal. I think you guys got Holmberg, but they got Lundqvist. I think all fullbacks just need to be Swedish from now on. They just know what to do. And I know Riviere had a very good defensive performance in the first half, but she can't play out 90s anymore. I don't know what's going on. I think she's just been overused at the start of the season.
Both of United's fullbacks got injured in this game, which was hilarious, but they had the backup. So
and I mean, it's because of that higher press that Gaz has. And then Rolfo just, still world class. I'm not even going to argue it. Just that tap in, like the fact she can play anywhere on the ground. 11 Rolfos could beat every team in the world. Like, it's so insane how complete she is as a player, and made that look so easy at the near post to separate and then finish. But it was just, brilliant. And they're now second place due to Arsenal due to Arsenal playing elsewhere, which we'll get to later on. But they're ahead of Spurs and ahead of Chelsea in the table. Look, if anyone predicted this table at this point in February the 4th, honestly, I want your lottery numbers right now. Like, absolutely insane. Spurs also winning their game, not without some adverse as well. I mean, this is what I mean. The WSL has, like, at the start of the season, I felt like there was a bit more like organized hierarchy, and now like with the managerial changes and the investment and the players coming back from injuries, it's now a fight. Not every game is the easiest 3 points in the world. We don't look at it that way anymore. And I mean, West Ham were making sure that their attacks were effective, and like Spurs were running the show, running the game for the first 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden Asai plays the ball to Vandala. By the way, Vandala she has to just be on the ground all the time. She is the real deal off that right side. I think she saved that right side completely. And then Vandala back to Shakira Martinez, who is just, I mean, she's back. This is the purple. The patches are purple.
Second half of the season, purple patch. Yeah, it's crazy.
Sino, just don't play her in the first half of the season. Just bring her in for the second half. And then she played in Asai. Cop nearly lets it go in. Koga does very well. Koga Benito saves it on the line. And Koga Benito kept going because she played it to Vinberg. And then Vinberg had that really nice play with Holt and then got it back and then long shotted it in. And then, I mean, the pain at the end of this game for Tuva Hansen, her first game for the Irons, and she plays the ball perfectly to Olivia Holt. Gets an assist at least, but for the other team, sadly, Holt, who's just become a clutch player for Spurs, by the way. A lot of late, this wasn't too late, but a lot of late goals. Low percentage chances are just going to, I don't know if they're going to fly in next week like they did just then. Those long shots aren't going in every week, but they've got to be on a little bit of a confidence high going into this Chelsea game, especially with the way Chelsea's playing. Spurs should think that they're gettable and that they can go for it. I mean, they are going to have to do it without Spence, I believe, because of that red card on Uweki. That was a high foot, to be fair. But Spurs did deserve to win this game. 28 shots, a lot of chance creations. And if they're going to beat Chelsea, they're going to need a lot of the ball, and they're going to need to be able to create higher quality chances than the ones they had against West Ham.
I just think if they can bring the mentality just like you guys, just like us, anything is possible. And I know that Tottenham in the past have rattled Chelsea. So this is a fixture that's could easily turn into a very interesting game.
I mean, imagine Beth England comes back to her old side to haunt them. I mean, that would be almost poetic in a way. England triumphs, but Chelsea suffers would be the headline in the article. But we will move to Brighton and LCL. This game was depression. So sad. Oh my God. Honestly, I've never seen it's like in some ways it's arguably one of the greater undeserved victories. But there's also just some brilliant, like the individual brilliance. I don't know if Eder Maestra's tactic is just to give the ball to the best players and allow them to do whatever they want, but it seems to be working, and it makes them look really fresh on the flanks. It makes them look really open on the wings so that they can get the space to do what they want. But defensively, they are very meh. I think they are still meh. And that center of the park, I mean, you talked about it last week with Lani Kennedy, but LCL getting cooked by prime Vidicic ball. Like that goal that Seika had, who's also having just a stellar season so far, Kiko Seika. But the play from Rule to Haley's back heel to Seika's outside of the foot, finesse into the side netting. I was like, I'm watching them. They look like a top five. They look like Yoga Bonito, like O2, like this is the dream football. But then that, like, they aren't afraid to take the game on in ways that the other pack sides do. I feel like Villa are a bit flattering to deceive with their clinicalness, but then you have Brighton who just create really good chances. But
Brighton remind me of like the best of what a like mid-table can do in like a very good purple patch. So Liverpool from a couple years ago, Villa, I always talk about 22-23 is an incredible season. But I think what Brighton showed in this game is the potential of what someone like LCL could be in a couple years. Like in terms of like an established model. Now, it wasn't successful on the day, and that's why LCL were able to win. But I'm hoping, like in my football brain, not my like, moral brain, that if LCL are going to be a genuine like competitor in the WSL, that they establish a style of football. And if that style of football comes from just passing it to Freya Godfrey, then that's all that they should be doing right now.
And I mean, it works. It's working for them now, and they're sitting in a good position on the table, and it's because of the razor thin margins that are pack WSL games. So Jana plays that ball to Godfrey whips it across, and another day that ball goes through the pack, or Izzy Goodwin fluffs the chance, but Minami puts it in her own goal. And then in the 45th minute, Seika sets up Nordum hits the post, and then it goes down the other end 2 minutes later, and that goal from Godfrey, I mean, Jesus
Is this
Christ.
a signature now? Is this a signature Godfrey goal?
Thierry Godfrey. Thierry Godfrey.
This is becoming a bit like the same move on that kind of right-hand side, cutting
Step
it in.
over, left side, channel.
Nice.
It's beautiful, and it was a great finish. And I mean, if you're going to get over the line with individual brilliance, at least make it look aesthetic. And I mean, the thing was, like, I just think you could easily argue, like, Mead is playing at a level that's good enough to put her on the right side for England, but same as Jess Park as well. But Freya Godfrey offers something that those two can't, which is firstly the ability to just match win in that way, but also just the speed. I just don't think I think the physical gift that Freya Godfrey is such. They are so lucky to have her at.
Do you know who
LCL.
she reminds me of? She reminds me of Eula Brand, like prime Eula Brand.
Eula Brand in a Germany top.
Yeah, just in terms of like her physical prowess, how she takes on the ball. She's not the best. Like
same build, same speed as well. Definitely 100. It's definitely a great shout. It's just like Eula Brand wishes she had this kind of club form, to be honest. But like that's the thing, right? If Eula Brand could do it for Lyon, then we'd be talking about her that way, and I think that is totally fair. But the last game of the WSL, the Everton v Villa game, the late upset from Mace and Martina Fernandez. I mean, if your strikers aren't going to score or your strikers aren't going to play for you, get your centre halves get your centre halves to whip the ball in and get your other centre half to head the ball in. You know what? If that's not Brexit ball, I don't know what is. Like, that is perfection. That is Sorensen ball in my brain.
I want someone to have the game on, but also the foot mob like lineup on, because you see like the front players like Vignola and Mimiki and Will, like they're all like at 7s, and then the two centre halves are at 8.5 and a 9.1.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Vignola was harsh because she knew that goal. If that went in, that would have been. It was nearly
Vignola. It was nearly a Vignola day. It was nearly.
Yeah, that was Thierry Vignola. That moment that hit the post. But I mean, Villa, man, Villa are just this team that are like how can you have all these players and then like
John Francois as well?
It just doesn't. I mean, again, that will come to fruition. That will work eventually. But Salmon's goal was very well taken on the Claire Wheeler mistake. But Hansen and Mullet, like. Mullet's got to score in that moment. Those 3 chances, one saved, one blocked, one skied over the bar. Like, that's just enough. Like, and you could see Arroyo was miffed after that ball didn't go in. Like, they've got to kill off games because this is what happens, right? And that header, the 2 headers that they scored, I think the last one's a bit more annoying because it's so far back and it goes through D'Angelo's legs. Like, SDA, you are better than that. Like, I know you're better than that. Getting Meg through your legs from a header is I mean, it's either really impressive header from Martina, but I kind of look at it as poor keeping just because of the angle it was. But she's done well, Martina, and to have a brace as a centre half to win your team the game in the 90th minute, I mean, she probably had a great night after that. That's a pretty amazing performance from a centre half.
I'm not even going to like mention like the little coaching part of my brain, which is like, you know, Villa set up completely wrong in this game for like that.
The 3-4-3 is weird considering they haven't always been playing 3.
I don't really understand it, but like to me, it was obviously it was, you know, the aerial ball into the penalty spot, into the penalty box was just, you know, completely terribly marked, and
it looked Villa, like City when we're trying to deal with an aerial
ball.
No,
and Villa have struggled with set pieces and defending them, but they've also been incredibly good at scoring them. Like I was going to
say they each it should be both ways, right? So obviously when you're doing set piece training, if they just keep scoring goals, it's great.
Yeah.
But then your defenders get in their own heads about, are we good at defending these? Or our attackers aren't in the right positions and our attackers are not being able to defend in that way. Like, it is something to work on. Set piece training is always complicated. And I mean, it's becoming way more important in the sport. Yeah. I feel like with the Americanization of sport, making football more routine and set plays and like the same movements rather than the creative flair that we love to watch. But that's what happens. But that, I mean, and it's also a symptom of the WSL being the most commercialized, professionalized league in the world at the moment. But that is all we have for the commercialized, most professionalized league in the world at the moment. As we move on to the Champions Cup. It is the Champions Plate. I don't understand why they've called it the Champions Cup.
I'm not falling into this NWSL plate shenanigan propaganda.
Then why did they give them a plate?
It wasn't a plate. It was a nice, like, rounded, like, wok bowl situation.
It's a really wide cup. That's what it is.
It's like a flattened cup. Yeah.
It's the holy grail of cups. But Arsenal versus Corinthians, I mean, I could meme this game a little bit, but I kind of want to just give my flowers and congratulate both teams for putting on what firstly, I mean, if Gianni Infantino is not happy, I mean, I don't know if he knew this game was going on.
He was there.
But he was there, but that doesn't mean he knows it's going on. That just doesn't, that's not how this works. But that game was so entertaining. It was like HBO football. That's what it felt like. The Prestige wide TV, angle panning, like beautiful game. The defense, no. Referee integrity, no. Like, let's just let this game play out. Let's get an extra time. Let's let's make sure Caitlin Ford's confidence is at an all-time high. Put the narratives in play.
Get Frida Marnham to win Player of the Tourney.
There you go. This was like an Arsenal fan's like dream. Like this is what they.
The
this is what they
only
wish
thing
would
that
happen.
didn't happen is that it's a final and Stina didn't score.
This
is important
that's
for the law. Stina didn't score.
But Stina's anti-FIFA because Sweden never win anything. But.
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, is there anything? Do you want to go into this game in detail, or do you want to just like?
I don't
brush
really
it a
do
bit?
it. I don't really want to do detail on it because I think that it's a game of moments. So it wasn't necessarily like if we're talking about the whole game, it was obviously dominated by Arsenal. But that's not to disrespect Corinthians. And like this has been the narrative kind of the whole week that Arsenal and Arsenal fans are disrespecting Corinthians. But I genuinely think that the team and the way that they presented themselves as fans, it was an incredible performance, incredible support. So it just made the occasion kind of live up to whatever expectation it had, if not kind of a bit underwhelmed by the celebrations and, you know, what it meant. But I think that the game overall, as I said, was dominated by Arsenal. So I was expecting us to get a goal early and we did get a goal and I was happy for it. And it came from a very traditional Arsenal move, you know, over the ball to Stina, 1v1. She misses, obviously, and then Smithy's there on the half volley. It was a great...
That is basically a goal for Stina in a final, by the way.
Sure,
That is her moment.
Why
right
not?
There.
But I think that the way that Corinthians responded was, to me, what was impressive. Now, was I upset? Of course I was upset. I mean, I wanted us to run away with this game, but Corinthians weren't going to do that. I mean, I don't know why we were so poorly managed in the box during a corner. We have been for a while, to be completely honest. We're not doing well with defending corners, but that's life. And, you know, Borba had a fantastic game. I mean, it was an amazing performance by her and has been an incredible month for Annika Borba, but it was just a bit unlucky that she mistimed the catch of the ball and it fell to the hands of like a literal legend for Corinthians.
Gabby
now.
Zanotti, yeah.
I mean, incredible.
Remember the name. The moment against Gotham as well.
Yeah.
40 years old. She's been there, done it all in Brazil. I mean, shock. You play against a Brazilian team and the game's just entertaining and the vibes are crazy and there's just chants going all game. But I mean, you could argue Borba is your player of the month for January, the way she's been playing. Honestly, the game against United, the game against Chelsea, getting that clean sheet, like it was some crucial saves, as a shot stopper. I mean, good to have DVD back for the City game, but Borba definitely deserved of her flowers. And then after halftime, I mean, this is where the HBO show comes, right? You're in episode 5 of a 10-episode season, and then it all just builds in chaos. It's crazy, crazy stuff.
I mean, we started the half very well. I really enjoyed kind of how we went on the front foot very early. I mean, we got a goal quite halfway through around the first half, and it was mounting to that. It was expected, kind of like the first goal was, and I was really happy that Lotta was able to get the goal. I mean, you wanted a Kadena header. You got a lot of header instead. I think I predicted that, by the way, but I was
just
really...
it's not the same.
No, it's not the same. It's not the same. We know that. It's for the Arsenal merchants, it's the same, but for like the football merchant, it's like we need Kadena to score for the Vamos. But no, I was expecting us to kind of run away with this game. We should have closed it up, like we really should have. But at the end, a VAR decision decided the full time of this game. And this VAR decision if this was a bigger game of higher significance, and I mean this in terms of the world,
I reckon soon it will. I think
by the Club World Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to look at this game like, haha, funny. You still won. But like, after the Club World Cup, I think clubs are going to take the Champions Cup way more seriously. They're going to put their pressure into it, and with the prize money that's in it, like that is enough. I mean, obviously the window is over, but next season this win is going to fund the 2 signings that you're going to make.
Yeah, but I think the decision was egregious for 2 things. I mean, for one, it was a terrible decision. McCabe obviously gets the ball when her tackle from behind, but more so, like, we're in the middle of a season. We're now having to play 120 minutes midweek in terrible conditions. I mean, the plays were freezing, and this isn't me like saying professional players, you know, need to be coddled and, you know, given warm blankets. But like in terms of like, this is like extended minutes, extended 30 minutes for no reason other than a poor decision by a referee who I think was maybe even overwhelmed by the moment or just unable to really decipher what was right in front of her. But I mean, at the end of the day, they got the penalty, they scored. great scenes, awesome, and then we come out into the extra time and kind of just do what we do and win it.
Freda and Ford, baby.
Yeah,
Ford,
with the
first
GA.
First GA for the season for Caitlin Ford.
Crazy.
What a time to get it as well, seriously. But I mean, it would have been an amazing, happy, joyful moment if, the Annika Borba situation didn't happen. I feel like it's kind of sad that it's a bit rose tinted. It's a bit it would have been this perfect moment for Borba to win the game, do her job, but
she won goalie of the tourney as well.
Yeah, exactly, and not there to receive it. Yeah, it's
won. She got the award later. I think Spilsberger gave it to her, but
it's just so harsh, and it's this is what I mean. The extra games, the chances. If this goes the other way, right? Let's say it was their goalie, and their goalie bumps into Lessie, and then you don't have Lessie for the next week. It's this is where the extra games are going to frustrate fans, and not having Borba. Yes, having DVD back means fans don't really have the same excuse.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a little bit of I don't know if I like these tournaments, the chances, the recipes for disaster in any game, and then adding an extra 120 minutes for the WSL clubs, adding an extra 90. Again, a lot of the other clubs you're playing against are off season at the moment.
And that's the thing. It's there's the argument from Arsenal fans saying we're mid-season, we don't want to risk injuries, we don't want to risk anything happening. And then there are the teams that are on the other side of the world going, there are multiple reasons why this competition is A, not in our favor, and B, completely Eurocentric. We're playing in England. We're out, the English team is spying on us allegedly at the Brentford Stadium.
Sure.
And the fans and the media is against them, and of course that's what's obviously going to happen.
And they're off season. Gotham didn't look like they were fresh at all, and that's part of it. And they've got to be able to reshape if the Club World Cup is going to run, it's got to be reshaped in a way where it's beneficial for all parties involved. And as long as they take, again, we've spouted this since podcast 1. We are player-centric focused. I don't care about the money. I don't care. And I know a lot of people do, but the reality is that if the players don't want something, they probably are right about it. No offense. That's just the way to do it. And I don't claim to know better than players. I do sometimes claim to know better than ex-players, because ex-players have some wacko takes. But players who are we are tired, we are struggling, there's a reason for that. And it sucks when there are teams that don't have the squads to be able to compete in the competitions they're in. And even the top giants are complaining, right? If Lyon are complaining about the amount of minutes they have to play and they play in a Club World Cup, it's going to be ridiculous. They're the biggest squad, the most expensive squad. They have the best crop of players combined from a number standpoint. If they have a Club World Cup, I would still understand if Ada was you know what, it's too many games. It's just not fair on us.
I just think that women's football and football as a whole would do better where there's less complaints. I just think less complaining, more listening to players, more giving players power. It'll just make the game and the environment of football just a much better place.
100%. But that is my entire threshold for Gianni Infantino competitions for this podcast. But we will vamos through the Liga F. Deportivo La Coruña playing Real Madrid in a 4-2 win away from home, actually. The return of the Signa Brun back in the business. How was that, Leggy? Your favorite player in the world?
I was just so chuffed. I was over the moon. She came onto the screen and it was a
Aura farm. She is the number 1 Aura farm in the Liga F. It's arguably top 3 in the world. I think it's Signa. Signa Brun, it might be my favorite name in the sport. I know yours is Stina Blackstenius, which is great. Fair. Emma Stina Blackstenius is goated, but Signa Brun, there is something about that is so so Danish. It's so Aura farmed. It's amazing.
I don't know why, but Signa Brun gives me such Chloe Kelly vibes in the best way. I love Chloe Kelly.
Okay, all right. I was interesting.
No, but in the way that she's she walks onto the pitch and she has a job and she knows what to do and she's not doing above anything. She does it for the badge and she did the job. She did the job. It's not like she didn't do the job.
Did a great job, and it was a goal on return. The ball for Brune to beat Pereira from Athenea. Athenea is on fire, to be fair. When they're clicking and clacking, it's Athenea. We are with 2 penalties, I believe, in this game.
Real
Calcasada.
Pendrid.
Yeah, Real Pendrid, Jesus. Pendondo as well. Pendondo with earning that penalty, to be fair, did her job. Linda Caicedo coming on at halftime. I assume this is just to minute manage her, but...
I was going to say, I would say yes, because the Champions League is coming up. But like, again, this is not necessarily a game for her. I mean, I think Deportivo actually pressed quite well. I mean, they were the ones who got the opening goal. They did really well whipping the ball in and testing both Misa, but also just like that whole defensive pack of players and how Real Madrid would deal with clearing the ball, which obviously they didn't do well. But I think this game was more suited to a player like Signe Brune, was more suited to a player like Athenea. Just those connections and those established connections, they just worked in the end. And then obviously Redondo pressuring and getting the penalties at the end.
I think pack sides just have to get better at set pieces and corners because the big sides, as much as like when the ball's fluid in motion, obviously you've got to fight your fight. But once the corner's in there, it's 11v11. It's a little bit of chaos. And the top teams hate it. They just hate it. Yeah. And that goal that they conceded for the equaliser for 2-2. I mean, yes, 2 defensive mistakes and it ends up 4-2 and Madrid looked like a solid win. But the reality was that they were in this game, Coruña, and they worked their asses off to get there. And that corner was perfect, right? That's the chaos you want to put into the middle. And it was very City-coded from Real Madrid to not be able to deal with the corner and just be a bit complacent in the game. But I feel like there is a level of confidence with Pau Casada, bringing on the right subs, knowing how to use them, and then the players doing their job with Rocio Galvez and Redondo drawing fouls, winning penalties, and we are settling the nerves of the Madrid fans with very clinical penalties. But we will move to their counterparts. Barcelona 4-1 against Sevilla. I mean, there were a lot of what's the word? Like marquee, like milestones hit. I think it was Pina's 200th game, their 700th victory in Spanish football. But look, I for one would not want to play on Kika Nazareth at this moment in time because I mean she is. If anyone can explain how the first goal went in. I have no idea what happened.
So it was like a back flick over, but not a bicycle kick. It was more like a stationary standing flick over her head.
But before that, the ball's in the air. She taps it away from the player's head, spins off her, and then flicks it over. It's like she's trying. It's like it's phase Barcelona. Like they're genuinely trying to quick scope 360 no look snipe top corner and Kika Nazareth is like she's playing like she's come out of the favelas of Lisbon and she's playing the music and it's just ridiculous. The goals she scores, the second goal she scored where she chests it down the low driven volley, that's arguably better based on the technique.
Which one is the more Martyr award winning? I think I honestly think it's the first goal.
It's probably the first one, but the first one I'm not going to sit here and say like that's an amazing goal because it's
I'm gonna say it
because it's like what I would do at lunchtime at school in year 11 when I have no ability to do a bicycle kick. I'll just kick it over my head and hope and pray.
You know what? It's what I would do on like EAFC mobile where I'm just spamming.
Exactly. By the way, for anyone who's out there, Leggy and I we are the best EAFC mobile player. Anyone who wants to challenge us, go for it. You won't win. Our teams are too good. Harrow beat the winger and then Schertenleib scored.
And then cut it back to Schertenleib,
Yes, exactly right. Salma Paruello had a good free kick, but then also scored, not the free kick, but just played the ball into the goal very easily. I mean, it was just a bit too easy for Barca crowding the box. Watching Schertenleib and Salma on the pitch at the same time. Thought the free kick that Salma took was Schertenleib. I thought that was. I was like, there's no way Salma's hit that. But now I know Salma has this ping that is so sublime, but Alexia comes on, does her business.
Salma does do their set pieces. Like I have seen her take corners, which is like, I mean, it surprises me. It's like she has more than one quality.
She's what, 5'10", 5'11". She's a runner and a long jumper, and she's not in the box for a header. But insane. But Lexi came on, played Kika in for that goal.
Ball to Kika. That ball to Kika, though. I mean, the goal was amazing. But
yeah, sublime, and played it perfectly. And then Kika, the chest down, the volley is sublime. But then Alba Serrato got a consolation goal for Sevilla. She's been injured for a long time, Alba Serrato. Her Spain youth career is absolutely insane. I remember talking about her with you. It would have been now 15, 18 months ago during the under-17s World Cup. Yep. I think she scored a hat-trick in either the World Cup semi-final and then had a brace in the final.
I remember where we were talking about
she's going to get signed by Barca or something. But she's been injured for a while. She's had a stint of games for Sevilla now, but I think she's had 2 in 2 now. But she's going to get back into this runner form, and I hope, like, it was a very good finish. But I hope that, like, this can turn into something for her, because it's players like that, like Pina, Patry, like Sarah Geordie, even Lexi less so. It was more like later on, but
more Aitana, really.
Yeah, and Aitana, yeah. But I'd say Patry and Pina are the big ones. Where from under 17s to 19s to 21s, they just won it all. Were best on ground. They were just good at everything. And I hope Alba Serrato is that, because she has the ability to be much bigger than just at Sevilla, and can build beyond that into a stellar career, hopefully.
I think the Lexi to Kika collaboration duo is like so fantastic, and I just love seeing it. I think it will do them the job in the Champions League as well.
Yeah, we're killing all the narratives now of Kika being like Lexi-esque. She's just Kika at this point. Like they work so well together. I would argue that, like, they sometimes work better together than Lexi and Aitana do in some ways. It's
different. It's
of course. They're both more attacking.
Because I think Aitana passes the ball to Lexi versus Lexi gets it to Kika a lot of the times now.
100%. And I think the facilitator model, I mean, we've seen Kika play in the 9 when Elle was injured, and they look like they're sometimes even more fluid in attack because of that. I think Kika is the... I mean, dare I say she's the Woso Cesc. Like, she's kind of like...
That's
remember when
so interesting.
When
That's
Cesc
such
was
an
that...
interesting take.
You know, when Cesc was like the 9 for that iconic Barca 08-09, and it was like you had APA or Xavi Iniesta, Busquets, and then you just had Cesc, and it's like, well, Cesc could play there, but also he can play up front, he can play on the left, he can go anywhere, and it's like he's got the creative brilliance. Like, if Kika went to the WSL, she'd dominate as well. Like, there's no way she wouldn't.
She reminds me, and this is a more rogue take, but Alexis Sanchez at Barcelona.
Even similar.
That's like the chips over the goalkeeper, the creativity. I mean, and also the underratedness. I think she's very underrated still in that. I think
the maverick nature of her. I feel like she'd want to be the main player. I think
she's really comfortable. I think because of how much she respects Barca, I think she's so comfortable just playing second fiddle and just like doing what she needs to do for the team.
But even when you watch her with Portugal, she is the main player. She is the talisman.
Definitely.
I'm saying even if she is like she's definitely not a passenger, but she's not the number 1 or number 2 on the sheet. But I think if she wanted, I'm not saying she would ever want to move, but let's say she went to the Prem and she was at like Arsenal or City or whatever, it wouldn't be like she's coming in and she's not the best player in the team. She would come in to want to be the best player in the team, and that the game revolves around her, which is, I mean, that is the best thing you can really say about a player. But we will move to the last 2 games in Spain around the grounds. We watched this live, Atleti v Granada. I mean, what was more disappointing, Atleti's performance or Granada's kit? I have no idea.
Thank you for mentioning this.
Yeah, I had to put it in there, but it wasn't an admirable defensive performance from Granada. Yeah. It would have been more admirable if it wasn't that grey abomination of a shirt.
It was so ugly, just grey on grey. It's just terrible.
Grey on grey. It was like they were setting up for a funeral, but it was actually Atleti's funeral for their season.
It's like 11 funerals running though at this point.
Starting 11, that was, I mean, I wonder what Luani's plans are for next season, because she looks like she's giving Liga F Lauren James. Like, she looks mentally checked out in games.
She's giving JC. I said this JC vibes. Like, she's like trying to jog Benito her way out of it, but it's not working.
Like, she has moments.
Go to the NWSL.
moments where she's styling on defenders, and then she plays it to Fiamma and the ball just needs to go in, and it just doesn't. And they have 22 shots and 3 on target, and it's not good enough. And Granada was solid, and Mola was the only one who had a chance to put Atleti 2-1
Clara
up.
Cool's debut for Atleti. I mean, she's doing
what did
the
you
rounds
think?
now. I mean, I love Clara Cool. I love her. I think she's awesome. But I mean, a journeywoman now. I mean, she needs to settle somewhere. And I hope it's at Atleti with Gio, another ex Arsenal player.
Yeah, I mean it's a moment to see Atleti at their most vulnerable right now, and you can see why. There are just things like Bartel's mistake playing out from the back. Like when your leaders are making mistakes, I think it is just really annoying. But to have 3 posters, including Mola's one at the end, was kind of heartbreaking, and I feel bad for the new manager. Jensen had a few moments. Sarajevo hit the post twice, which is so brutal. But it was just one of these nearly games, and I mean, Laura Perez.
They've had a lot of those though.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Laura Perez scoring for Granada to get them their first ever points at Atleti's ground, which it seems like everyone's just getting their first points at Atleti's ground now, just the way they're playing. But Tenerife and Sociedad, a 3rd v 4th clash that was slightly disappointing in terms of the number of shots, the shots on target. It was a very defensively content game. The post-Maestra era of Tenerife with Yerai Martin in charge, they looked actually quite solid defensively, keeping their defensive performance well. And then Tenerife ended up opening the scoring with Irate Perez, that turn and shoot. It was almost jumpers for goalposts like. That's what it felt like for me. But in the 29th minute, the shot from the edge of the box from Sociedad to level it up. I mean, Sociedad was just in the shell of Tenerife, but Tenerife were just holding so strong. There were no good chances. It was 9 shots in this game. The biggest chance was this chance from like 45 yards out that hit the roof of the net. It was insane. But 9 shots, 2 on target for the whole game for like combined the team. So 2 shots on target with the 2 goals. So nothing special to watch, but big drop points for 3rd and 4th, and gives Real Madrid more breathing space.
The best part about this game, and I'm not even joking, is that they walked out with like two dragon heads as their, like, I don't know what it was, like a cover that they walk out of. I think it's some Chinese New Year celebration thing. That was the most interesting thing, because in the background you just see like the dragon heads thing. Just when I think it was like when Tenerife score, you just see that she's running out. She's like gonna take her shirt off.
I love that
incredible.
for them. I mean, you've got to.
In the background.
I mean, maybe it's because it was 3rd v 4th clash. Like, it is a top 4 clash. You got to put some spice on it. Maybe DAZN were spicing things up. You know? we never know what's going on with those games. But I mean, I still think Sociedad were the better side in comparison to Tenerife. But Sociedad are looking like the team that will make the UWCL at the moment if Athletic can't get their act together. But I don't know what it means for next year. I don't know what the plan is if they're in the UWCL, but we will soon find out. I mean, the season is just getting started this season, but it won't be long till we're seeing that 3rd place playoff. And also, I mean, it's not like the coefficient's going to change for the Liga F, because Barcelona are looking the goods, and the further they go, the easier the coefficient gets.
But furthermore, with the Europa League as well, there's obviously...
Exactly right as well. But we will vamos away and go to the Bundes without Bayern this week, which makes it actually slightly more interesting in some aspects, because Bayern just destroy teams in the Bundes week in, week out, and we say the same things about the same players nearly every week. But VfL v Köln at VfL, a 2-1 win, and it only took 3 minutes for what I believe to be the beginning of what we have scientifically termed the Bierenstein purple patch.
I knew you were going to say that.
This is it. I'm telling you now, the next 6 games, she's scoring 10 goals. It's happening.
It's incredible.
It's so happening.
She is the Shakira Martinez of like women's football out on the continent, because she has these purple patches specifically in second half of seasons, which are just mad. And it's like, I don't know what you're going for. I don't know, like, you're not going for any sort of national, like, you're not going for the Netherlands team. You're solid in that. You're not going for some team of the season. You're just doing it for like the love of the game. It's just like she
are you
goes
saying
out there.
Are you saying Bierenstein is the Ada Hegerberg of Shakira Martinez's?
Yeah, she's more like the Stina. She's so Swedish coded. It's insane.
But the finishes, some of the finishes, the game must go in slow motion for her. Like the way she's finishing chances. It makes she always looks when she's on. She looks like she's one step ahead of the goalie. She's one step ahead of the defender. She's always contorts her body in the right way to be able to finish the ball the way she wants. The outside of the foot for that 3rd minute finish, to have the audacity to do that so early on is just so easy. And they looked so comfortable, VFL. But Kern actually put on a performance.
Yeah, they're no pushover. They're no pushover. And the transitional ball. I mean, the goal is incredible. Just as a piece of play. I mean, the switch pretty much just over the halfway line, kind of flicked over, and then lobbed over the goalkeeper on the other side. I mean, it's a nice bit of football.
If I was Juve, I'd be watching this game.
Exactly, and I was just about to say that.
This is a huge performance from Kern to show Juve, to show an informed Juve now. I will get to that game as well. But to say, if we're going to beat these lot over 2 legs, it's got to be barrages of chances that they rock. And Stina Johannes is a good goalie, but she's not catching those long shots. She's parrying them away, and we've got to have hungry, fast. I know it's like hungry, fast 40-year-olds up front for Juve, but maybe I don't know what the plan is with. I mean, one of their new signings coming in. I wonder if there'll be league minutes, or there'll be depending how well she does in the league. Maybe she might even get some European footy, which would be insane, by the way.
That would be crazy.
I mean, I do want to talk about Linda, who cops the own goal for VFL from the Viankovska cross, but before that did such a good chase down tackle, which no one will kind of remember. So, I know she gave up the own goal, and that's kind of rough, but she did have some good performances, but good defensive efforts for them. And then Enderman played that ball to Bierenstein for the lead, and the shot was good. Pop came on, did her thing. I felt like they were kind of in control after they got the second goal. I didn't think Kern had another barrage, but it was early on, that 10 to 35 minutes. That's what I think Juve need to be looking at and going, you know what? VFL aren't a pushover, but they are gettable. And we saw it against Lyon, and we saw it against other teams as well, that they have defensive miserliness when they want, but also if you beat them out the back, you could work off their defenders and put pressure on the fullbacks, especially the aggressively high fullbacks that VFL have as well.
Yeah. Hoffenheim and Brennan. I mean, that to me was a game that was supposed to be very good and supposed to be Hoffenheim at her best. And I've been looking forward to Searchy back.
Searchy versus Mulhouse. This is the form. This is arguably the Frauen Bunds team of the season without Bayern. Take away Bayern squad. These two are two of the front 3 in the thing, and both of them Searchy was mid. Mulhouse was okay, but just. They didn't have any shots. Mulhouse had 1 shot, Searchy had no shots. If this was in the Champions Cup, they'd have 7 shots each. They'd both have double hat-tricks, and it'd be a 4-all masterclass. But in this, a 0-0 shambles, 2 shots on target for the whole game. The two best strikers in the league aren't even being allowed chances, getting doubled up on. Then where's Bremen's support for Mulhouse to get her space? Where's Hoffenheim's support for Searchy? It's a bit disappointing.
This is where I think, and I don't know this for certain, but this is where I think that these halfway season transfers, speculations can really damage how a player looks at the rest of the season, because everyone knows that Searchy is going to move. I mean, it's kind of obvious now. And to me, especially with all the speculation, what that does for a player, for the team that they're playing with, that isn't necessarily going for a league, they're maybe going for European football to some extent, but Searchy now has to advocate for herself. It's not really advocating for Hoffenheim, it's putting herself on the market. And is this kind of the balance that she has to put, where she's like, I need to play for myself, but I'm also not necessarily motivated to win it for my team. And then that's where these kind of inconsistent mid performances come.
If the rumors are way worse than the actual fruition of the signing, right?
Agree.
So if a signing is going to go through and then it doesn't happen, that's tough. But when there's rumors and you become mentally checked out. You don't know what the plan is. I think all of us saw Searchy as the next one doing a promotional video with Ian Wright. Do you want the Arsenal? We all thought she was going. She's wearing Arsenal kits in her days off. This is it. And then you have to come back and you have to put on a brave face because the signing doesn't go through. Yeah. And I feel bad, but again, she's a mature player. I know she's young, but she will. It won't be long. Maybe it's a 3-week period. Maybe it's a 2-week period. Maybe it's less. But we don't know. But what we do know is that eventually she'll crack back onto form. She'll be bagging 2 goals, 1 assist in no time. And we know that because we've seen it time and time again. We've seen it for Germany. Even she's a mainstay starter. There's a reason why she has a shot to her confidence because her ability and her ceiling is so high. Frankfurt v Leipzig, a Desmond 2-2 performance. Frankfurt were 2-0 up away from home in the first half. What if this doesn't sum up Frankfurt season, I don't know what does. But and there was also Leipzig could have had a third. They had a penalty and it got saved as well. So Altenberg did her job for Frankfurt. So you can't blame it on her. But Mehmeti good. Reuteler okay, Anyomi okay, but Victoria Krug for Leipzig, oh my God, what a performance. Sublime moments for them, involved in both goals. Hayley Rasso not on site. I don't know if she's injured. I don't know if she's not good enough. I assume it's the latter right now, which is a shame because I think she is, but I don't know if she's ever good enough when she's not playing in green and gold. And I just think to myself, is this going to be the story of this girl's life? She's just going to move to the next team and she's going to find a new home and say it's her new home and then score a goal on debut and then fizzle out. It's just...
Well, she hasn't even done that for Leverkusen, for Frankfurt yet. Frankfurt. And that's the thing. It's I kind of question whether this move was right, mostly because in the other teams that she's gone to, at least she's had forms. At least she's had purple patches. And maybe because we haven't seen her play consistently, but I kind of question coming into a team that are kind of in the mid to late stage of their development. I mean, this is not a team that's just bringing in young talent. They're very, very settled in their 11. Coming into that team, you have to fight for your position. And I obviously don't know what Hayley Rasso is doing behind the scenes, but it's obviously not enough or obviously not the right suit. And I mean, just a quick aside here, I saw a interview by Ali Carpenter talking about how the players just don't want to, just don't want to be coming back to Australia because they just don't see that the levels are up to standard or even up to a level where they see themselves honouring their time back in Australia.
Or the financial incentive to do so.
And exactly as well. And to me, I think Hayley Rasso would have probably benefited, even if it were a downgrade, to going to the W League just to get a good patch of form in. As we've seen, by the way, a lot of the European players, players who have gone to Europe, come back. I'm talking about Sean Fryer, I'm talking about Lagaza. They've come back and then they've either picked up form or retired. But I think it's important that if the Australian players are not settling into their clubs, if they need a good patch of form, if they need a run of form, come back to the dub, make it a place where you can actually get a patch of form and get running form to then go back into European football seamlessly. But right now, from what I heard of Ellie Carpenter, she's saying that it's A, so much of a downgrade, and B, so much of a disincentive that it would just not be worth it, even if you're in the late stages of your career.
Yeah, it's so disappointing, and when it's one thing for us to say it, and we cramp on the FA. This is why the FA will never pay us to do anything, but we roast them more than enough. But again, we talk about it that, when the players complain, it means so much more, and not ex-players. Current players, our best players, So, one thing for Jacinta Gala to go out and say, I have no incentive to go back to the dub. But when Ellie Carpenter, arguably our most accomplished women's footballer from Australia, the amount of awards she's won, it's an interesting conversation to be so transparent and so vocal about the fact that she might finish her career in the NWSL and not in Australia.
And I think we should hear it when it's also being yelled at in the house, when Holly McNamara came out after the World Cup on a podcast and said, there is no reason why these players should be coming back here, and there is no improvement in the W League. And now we know that why this is the reason. Also, we know why players aren't coming back in droves when they need form.
Yeah, and it is going to be a conversation till we die, basically, and beyond when we die. Like, it's going to be a conversation until there's investment, and we're just going to keep flagging it, keep making it a conversation, because ultimately these conversations benefit the long run, because it needs to be vocalized, it needs to be heard when people say things like that. We will feed into, I mean, a player who is just putting on masterclasses in comparison to who we were talking about before in Germany. A person who is finding their footing in Germany is Fudalla, who last week had a stellar performance, 1 goal, 1 assist. This week, 4-0 beating Nuremberg with 2 goals, 1 assist. And I mean, one of them was a 30-yard lacer, and it was near post, low and hard from a corner. Like, that's not a corner set piece take, by the way. That is not what you set up to do. Like, oh, lay it out to me and I'm just going to score from 30 yards. That's not okay. But I mean, one was an own goal. There was a setup for Bender from Fudalla for her for the 3rd goal, and then the 4th, her brace was side netting from just inside the box. A really good finish. But Fudalla is definitely going to be in the cards of conversation for either underrated or who gets picked up at the end of this season, or even Bundesliga team of the season. Who knows if her form just keeps continuing? But we're gonna have a, like, at the end of the season, we're going to have an 11 of, like, ballers you need to know before they get too big and then you just look silly just talking about them. We're going to give you all the scouting reports. We know what's going on around the grounds. That's what happens. That's what we're here for. But that's all we have for the Bunds this week. We're going to move swiftly into the Arkema. We had the big W and the big L. PSG versus Lyon. This was a 1-goal difference, but it felt like a lot more when it was only 1.
It felt like a good game.
Yeah, it was. Once. I mean, it was a lot at stake, and it was close. But again, just falling short once again. PSG needing to get into this game, especially with the pack teams climbing over them when you made all those mistakes in those performances earlier on. Those points, the point tallies total up for Lens and Paris FC, but it was Chawinga's goal from Dumornay's pass. Of course it was Dumornay in the 10. I love that she's in the 10 now. Don't put her on that right wing. She's going to be in the 10. And I think I'm happy to say right now that the 3 best 10s in the world are Alexia Putellas, Dumornay and Viv Miedema, and you can order them whatever way you want. Arsenal fans, you can put Mario in the 10 if you really want. I know Leggy won't, but I know a lot of Arsenal fans who would, and I think personally it doesn't really matter if she is a 10. Like, when she's on, she's amazing, but if you're watching Dumornay this year, you're watching Viv this year, you're watching Alexia, even Kika when she's in the 10, like, these are the 3, 4, 5 players that you should be looking at for the 10s in a World 11.
I think if we move on to PSG for a bit, I mean, Lyon were obviously going to come out in this game wanting not only to win, but also just to further stamp their authority as the best, most dominant team in France. But I mean, the way that PSG played this game, I said it was even before. I only say it's even because it was 2 diametrically different types of football playing against each other, which just made it seem more interesting, because Lyon actively tried to play football. I don't know what PSG were trying to play most of the time. It was a lot
their
of
best chance. Did you see their best chance?
Yeah,
their best
was
chance
like
was Kanjinga from 40 yards with no pressure on her, just taking the shot on, and it wasn't even on target, and it still got parried away.
They're playing like Chelsea, really. They're playing.
What is this?
They're playing without.
I mean, Chelsea want Kanjinga, so maybe they want to be PSG. I don't know what Clear Lake want, or whatever Sonia's planning. I think Kanjinga is not a bad signing. I think they do need someone when Sam goes.
I really don't trust these French players coming into the WSL just like that.
Fair enough.
We just saw it with Jean-Francois. It just isn't working for the top sides, mostly because they're unable to physically match up, but also technically they're just not really with it.
Guilloro is probably the better one to talk about, not just Jean-Francois. Jean-Francois is young, she'll get better at it, but Guilloro is the established France mainstay. But again, just not good enough. The only other good chance was Ada's header from the corner late on that Luchta cleared off the goal line, and it's like, if Luchta's back there for set pieces, then ultimately Lyon have done their job and neutralised her despite her purple patch form.
I will say, I think that Merps had a pretty decent game. I mean, I know that we were taking the piss out of her a little bit last week, but I thought that she played all right.
Definitely 1-0 is a credit to her.
Yeah, and I think that I think she's actually had, post everything that went on earlier this season, I think she's actually had a pretty good run of form. She hasn't conceded many goals, and I think she be the one to get them any sort of like form coming into potentially another European run next season? No, she's not the impetus for that. No. But at least you have someone steady between the sticks.
But they've got a lot of work to do right now because they're currently 5th and they're 5 points behind Nantes. And Nantes, I mean, didn't take advantage of the fact that PSG lost to a big extent. They drew to Lens in a 2-2 draw. Wasn't anything special. Nantes are usually better than that defensively. That's kind of what's been getting them over the line. But Paris FC, who are also ahead of them in 3rd, I believe, were very impressive. And they smacked up Marseille away from home. Le Moguedec, 2 assists. But, I mean, there was a Garbino, I forgot her name. Garbino, Scott scored, and Jedlinska all on the score sheet. But Le Moguedec with a brace of assists from the middle of midfield with 8 or 9 defensive contributions. I mean, she's elite. If Arsenal don't like sixes, this is the girl to get. If you get Stanway, then if I was buying, I'd be looking at Le Moguedec and signing her as the Stanway replacement. Mateo was very good, set up 3 or 4 chances. None of them went in, but still did her job. And I think Paris FC and Nantes, and PSG have a little bit of a pack battle, and I wonder who's going to come out on top. I assume it will be PSG, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if Paris FC show everyone what they've got, especially in that midfield. I love Koroshek, I love Mateo, and Le Moguedec is going to be starting for France, in my opinion. I think if she keeps playing like this. But that's all I really have for France as we dive into the Femminile of Italia. Roma played how I expect them to play sometimes. This is a Roma UWCL performance. This is a Roma UCL performance right now.
Every week, it's like the pendulum swings to my side where it's like Roma are winning the league. It's so
Juve
simple.
are trash. And now we're back. We're so back. We're so locked in for this game. I don't know what happened, but Roma got bailed out so hard, not by the refs, but just by I mean low key, the 8 minutes out of time was shambolic, but I mean,
you know why? Because the
VAR
red card,
the
VAR decisions were insanely long.
What did you think of that red card?
I thought it was a red card. I
mean, her arm is out and she smashed the ball into her arm, Dragoni. Yeah. But that is just a genius strike from Dragoni. she's given them the only chance they had. But ultimately, Parma, I mean, this is one of those games. Remember the Lyon Juve game, the 3-3 game when Lyon were 3-0 up.
Yeah.
You know how it just felt like, I mean, it was amazing performance in the first half, but it was just a bit of luck. Every bounce was just going their way. That's what I felt like with Parma. Like the set piece went to Danielle Cox, who's an ultimate journeywoman who shins the ball into the goal, and then Benedetti gets the rebound for 3-1, and it's shambles from Roma, letting every chance end up with a second or third effort. And ultimately, if Roma are going to lose the league this year, it's because of that shaky-ish defensive line. But, I mean, they've showed what they can do on the back end of games. And I mean, the defensive mistake meant that Giuliano had 2 penalties in this game. Both of them were no look. Both of them were amazing. I'm actually very happy to put Giuliano's on the fringe of my top 5 penalty takers in Woso after that performance. Like, she sent the goalie the wrong way twice, and that's really, really hard to do. I think Caroline Weir's brace of pens this week was not as good as that. Like, that was way more impressive.
And both Roma's penalties came from handballs, correct?
Yeah, shambles.
So funny.
Shambles. So brutal. And I mean, Giuliano just doing the business, scoring when she had to, but then it was Baba G Day, the journeywoman from Brighton to LCL to Liverpool to Tenerife, and then all the way to Roma. But I mean, saves a point in the 98th minute with this thumper, Alessia Russo-esque header from the Dragoni cross into the top right corner, made it 3-3 to solidify the comeback. It was very well done, but the questions will be asked, and if I'm Inter and I'm Juve, I'd be watching that game and thinking, come on, like we can break down that back line and we can beat them because they're not everything they're made out to be.
I think that the problem with Roma right now is that consistency and semblance in form. But I also think that there is such a, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a little bit of arrogance in being first that I have seen from this Roma side. I have seen them be quite complacent in the past and then drop points later on in the season. So this isn't new, but I'm kind of hoping that because they're top, this is not necessarily the title race that once was. This is not like 2-3 points. This is quite a decent margin. I'm kind of hoping that they use the fact that they have gotten that margin to kind of prove to themselves that not only can they continue to go further in their form, but I mean, when teams like Inter, when teams like Juventus are getting points, it kind of tells them that the competition, although the points are quite large, it's not that, that big of a gap in terms of quality.
No, definitely not. And when it's 5 points behind, that draw meant that Inter could keep their form going. This is 6 in a row. Yep. I know it was against bottom of the table, but still away from home and a good hold because they scored 6 minutes in. Detroit, the Belgium. I don't know if she's Belgium international just yet, but she might be if she keeps this form up. But the finish was more than enough for Inter to hold on. The defensive performance was solid in comparison to Roma's at least. But, I mean, Vallert and Behaga, nothing special, but still presents a statement win where they can do it without their usual suspects doing it off the bench or on the field. And this is the question. We've been talking about Roma versus Juve, but can Inter go all the way?
Well, I would love for there to be a 3-way title race. I mean, we are in
a 3-horse race.
Well, yeah, but where in the world, other like in Europe, I mean, are we getting really contested whole season 3-4 race titles?
Only the dub. Only the dub. Only in the dub. You don't understand. This is why it's the best league in the world because it's, I mean, even the NWSL, there's just a clear hierarchy and gap despite the soft cap doing its job. But there is just this, like, I mean, we talk about the WSL as the most competitive league in the world. Right now, they have the biggest gap between first and second, right? So, I mean, it's an interesting, there are just tiers in the WSL. I think the Bundesliga is quite even in that top half, and then the bottom half is a bit poor, and then the Liga F obviously has its marked top 6. It's interesting where Serie A is a lot more balanced. It's not the dub, but it is incredibly balanced in that sense, but it does have its own relative hierarchy in that top 4, top 5, and it's shown when Juve comes up against Sassuolo. Chiara Beccari hat-trick, hero in a 4-0 win. 3 goals in 56 minutes. I mean, the corner rebound was not much special. The leaping header was okay, but probably keeper should have come out together. Obviously, Girelli had an easy pounce early on in the game, but the third goal for Beccari and the 4th goal for Juve was that long ball from Girelli, who takes it away from Eto'o, takes the ball down so well. Girelli's just so good at that. And then the ball switch to Beccari. She takes it at full pace and then chips the keeper for the hat-trick. It was almost like that. That's something I'd watch Holly Mack do, and I'd be like, you're just levels above in that. You're just in flow state right now. And when you've got the confidence of a brace behind you, it's good to know that they have another player who can put it on a platter, can be clinical in front of goal that isn't a 40-year-old Cambaji or Bonansea or Girelli.
And on the other side of the pitch for Sassuolo, obviously we have Dalla from Australia, who was in the 9, and that just shows you kind of the levels there. I mean, you know, she was basically up against like a Pinto Girelli kind of 9 situation, and they were outclassed in the final third, and Sassuolo really had no answers.
I mean, I just don't think Galla's a 9. I think their actual 9's injured. Galla's actually a left winger. And,
I was really surprised. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
But even like in the midfield, Valti was making easy work of McClellan as well. Like, I think that's like Lana McClellan is a great player in the Femminile and has had a very good season and has put Sassuolo into really good positions this year. But when you come up against like class like Valti, like there is just a level difference and you can see it. And this is the performance where you do see it. But we are done for the Femminile and we move down under into the dub. I'm definitely going to go through this game quickly because, my God, I don't really want to talk about it that much.
Let's half an hour on it. Let's riff.
No, I don't have
I
don't even have a minute. I don't even have a minute for this game, to be honest. But Adelaide, honestly, Adelaide are the form side in the competition right now.
No, Western Sydney are.
I mean, Western Sydney are, but Adelaide at the top of the table are the form side. And we said it before. We said when they're on, they can beat anyone. And at home, they made us look silly. Erin Healy and, by the way, Siunas, their coach, did their homework. Apostolakis out. So what did they do? Straight away, invert wide to our right side, overload it, and Erin Healy was the overload, and she wrecked us. Oh my God. She is, if they're going to have a dub team of the season, I don't see how Erin Healy doesn't make it in at this point. Like, some of the matches, some of the performances she's had for Adelaide are just sublime. And then the way she played it across the box to Fiona Florian Wurtz. Like, we deserved to be 1-0 down. Healy was killing us. They had a lot of chances. And then the corner to Tonkin. I mean, Tonkin just looks like a giant in the box. And
because your keeper looked completely
Mires had it.
It is a City problem with
it's a
defending
City
corners.
Football Group problem, not a Manchester City problem. But Mires, who's had actually quite a good season so far, this was the worst game I've seen her play. She made a few bobbles and a few fumbles in this game. But, I mean, the game was over when Otto got that near post header and Uchendu blocks the ball from going in. This could have been a 2-2. We could have looked at this game like, okay, missed chance for Adelaide to kill us because they were better than us. I'll take a point at Adelaide considering their form. But Uchendu blocking the goal on the line.
I mean, she backheeled the ball back and then it's incredible stuff.
It was just there was so much wrong with this game. And then obviously McKenna got the goal off the Keane bobbled pass, but we just didn't get there in the end. I mean, Apostolakis came on and she was good for the spark, and McNamara had a chance, but it was blocked by Tonkin doing it on both ends. I know Healy was man of the match, but you could have easily given it to Tonkin in this game. But I think we don't end games well. Like, this happened against Newcastle Jets, where we were 3-1. We were 3-1 down. Brisbane game's a bit different because, we did have the brunt of the chances, and at the end we still had the last chance. But against the Newcastle, we were 3-1 down, and they're still going at it for a fourth in the last minutes of the game. In this game, the last two chances of the game were all Adelaide, so we couldn't even get the chance to get the equaliser late on, and it just made us look a bit incompetent. And again, it's anyone's game in the dub. And Adelaide had such a shocking start to the season, and now look at them. They're second. They went from 9th or 8th to 2nd in the table because of how tight the league is right now.
Erin Healy, and obviously, the links to the headband, very Alex Morgan, the pink headband. Yeah. But, I mean, she just is of the school of Alex Morgan, the way she runs, the way she strikes the ball. And
football
it's
IQ as well.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what I expect from someone like Kennedy White, which, as we move on to the victory game, I mean, if we're going to have Yanks in the league, you might as well get them to do Yank things, and that's what Kennedy White is doing. And, I mean, I kind of, bashed her a little bit last week. I was saying how her form and the way that she started the season hasn't been matched with the second half of the season.
That strike, days.
I mean, she just.
Where was that last week? How many chances? She had 7 shots at goal, and none of them looked like that. Was absolutely. She must have done some shooting training during the week. That was a perler.
Yeah, and this came straight after, not straight after, but after halftime. We're in the first half. We had our own player sent off one of my literally, you know me, I'm not going to
Bunge. Yeah, you don't like any of your players, but you do like Bunge.
I love Bunge. I mean, I don't know if it's because she's New Zealander, so I have a nice. I like New Zealanders. They're cool. They're also not Australian, so that helps. But I love Bunge, and her stupid dogzo was it's just so terrible, and it marred.
Heyman knew exactly what she was doing.
And exactly,
there.
yeah,
perfect 9 work, by the way, to occupy. It's the hazard step where you get in front. Perfect. It was sublime.
As I was saying, it marred what was actually a very good duel between the two for the first 20 whatever minutes that they were having. But I mean, I don't know. I was really surprised when we got the goal back after halftime. I really don't know what our gaffer was saying at halftime, what the team message was. But obviously it worked, and for what was a good 10 to 15 minutes, we were winning the game. But then Canberra ran away with it. Very, very it was very.
They kind of
confident
knew
display.
it was going to happen. I think there was a confidence in the fact,
Yeah.
you know what, they have 10 players, we can work through it. Despite some goal line clearances, some really hard work, it didn't really matter because, I mean, the first goal wasn't amazing. I thought it was like a good strike, but again, off the post you get a bit of luck. But the second one, Stanek, Floody, oh my days, that is how you win a game. That killed the game completely. And to have that kind of level of caliber of a strike on the bench for you to come on and just strike the ball like that is absolutely brilliant. And then they got the third with the corner, right? And it was her first goal.
I need the stats. I need the stats on corner goals this season because I was saying to you literally before this season started, where are the corner experts? Where are the corner coaches?
We did talk about this for a long time. Like pre-podcast, we were saying like Woso hasn't evolved to the point where we're abusing corners, and now it just seems like there's an Olympico every week. Everyone is Nicolas Jova, and we're just trying to whip in the ball and put we could make a montage of just the last 3 weeks of Olympicos and corner goals, and I think we'd have about 15. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
We're probably about half of all the corner goals ever in women's football, but like seriously, like the headering, the precision.
Hey, Renard would say otherwise there.
No, but I think now if the offense of corners is working well, then the defense of corners has to be like drastically improved.
And that will take time. I mean, we get the goals first and then we get the defense beforehand. Like, I mean, that's the origin of any sport is that we work off the offense and the offense sells the tickets and then the defense wins the premierships. And I think that this game, I mean, I didn't expect you to win it when there was 10, even when you scored the goal. It was a nice touch and it shows that you do have the ability to get on teams, even if they are slightly better than you, but it does mean you are without a point.
We are outside the top 6.
Yeah.
It literally pains me. And furthermore, it pains me more because if you're a Victory fan from like the beginning, you know Canberra is the OG rivalry. Like this is the big rivalry. And to lose to Canberra, it's not
the unoriginal rivalry.
It is genuinely the original rivalry. And like this is their second loss in 10 matches, like in our last 10 matches that we've played against them. This is not a regular occurrence for Canberra. We usually rock up to these games and you know, we pretty much didn't rock up after the 40th.
Yeah, it's like when City men used to rock up to Victory men at home. You just knew you were on for a winner, you know. But yeah, 6 games without a win in the A-League is very uncharacteristic of Victory. And you know what's also uncharacteristic of Sydney FC is losing to Western Sydney. But some things just change, and this Sydney derby will be one to remember, to be honest. There was a lot that went on, but ultimately, I mean, the moments that matter were kind of at the end of this game, but we'll go through it quickly. But Tanner got the opener for Sydney FC, but then it was quick fire in the best time to score is the end of the first half, and that Chisari long shot was
incredible.
Fantastic. Yeah. And then it meant that the second half was all Western Sydney Wanderers for at least the first half of the second half. But Alyssa Ingsard gets another from a rebound from a corner, and then Kang with a header from a corner. As we said, the corner era of the dub is here. Luchtmeyer made it 3-2 with a good finish near post, and look, Sydney FC had a chance to complete the equaliser, but Tanner fluffs the chance. Corbett gets saved on the follow-up. Box office ending for the neutrals, but it was shambles and fun and craziness. And I like that they just kept swinging punches at each other, and there wasn't enough fluidity in Western Sydney's play out from the back for it to remain like a steady 3-2 win. It was just chaos and fun, and we loved it. But now both teams are on. I mean, after the Wanderers have won, this is unbeaten in 3, by the way, like unheard of stuff. They're now both equal on 12 points at the bottom of the table, but Sydney FC's goal difference is a little bit better. But the form chart is looking one way, and it means that Sydney FC are going to have to do a lot of work to do, and they're going to have to do it under a new manager, no?
Yeah, and I am so happy. This you don't understand. You don't even understand.
The Urich ball?
The Urich ball is over. I have been having to deal with this guy for years, and it's finally over. It's like it's just like, you know, when like Mourinho left the Premier League when Fergie left the Premier League.
I miss that man.
Just,
I miss that man. I need him back. I want him back. Just watching him in the UCL is just amazing. I love him so much. But I mean, when Fergie left, it was a good thing. I do agree with that.
I mean, he was, and probably will forever be, unless Sydney have an incredible coach come in very soon, their most successful coach. I mean, he won them yonks, and I don't know. I thought that Western Sydney really showed up to this game in a way that Sydney didn't, and so as a result, I kind of expected him to leave, if not for the fact that I don't think the players were playing for him anymore.
Yeah, you have to. It was just one of those games where if he didn't win that, he had to go. And I kind of respect that. Some people don't like that for teams, and I think we do get sometimes a bit reactionary with managers. I mean, case in point, look at Chelsea fans going after Sonia.
Yeah.
But the reality
this has been two seasons now.
This has been coming. This is not a mistake, and this was the game. It's like either... I don't even know if the result would have mattered, but that is the nail in the coffin. In comparison to the Knicks, who look on fire and their youngsters are on fire. I mean, if you look at the score and then the XG, I mean, Pia Vlok score a bad goal challenge impossible. Yeah. I mean, Pia Vlok, youngster, teen, hat-trick. I mean, this was
I don't believe
ridiculous.
This XG. I'm sorry. I don't know if they made their
Did you see where the shots were from?
No, I know.
Her shots, combine all 3 goals, it's 100 yards. It's 100 yards of content, right?
I know
crazy.
I know that they're like insanely low XG shots, but like to just get over 1.04
from 19 shots,
to
8 on
score
target.
then 5 goals. I mean, are you mad?
Overperform your XG by 4. I've never seen that in my life. But the edge of the box stuff, every team's going to have to play against the Knicks. You can't leave Pia Vlok alone at the edge of the box. She will just murder you on that inside with her right foot. Even the hat-trick goal was, I mean, it was a low driven through the goal, but it was from outside the box because the goalie came out. And Melina Ayres' consolation for Newcastle Jets, but just not enough by then. It was 5-0 at that point, but Pienberg and Walker doing their job. It was 4-0 in 24 minutes. They just shelled up too much, Newcastle, and the Knicks took advantage of the Jets away from home, and the Knicks are just looking fresh and fun, and they're enjoyable, and it's really entertaining to see, to be honest.
I agree. I love watching them. I've said that they're the team to watch.
They're your second team because they're
my
not
second
Australian.
Team because they're not
Australian. You want Bunge to go to the Knicks at this point. But,
I think it should be mandated that every player from New Zealand playing in the A-League should have 1 season at least with the New Zealand team.
I love when we use mandates. Mandates are so healthy. But I mean, we're going to keep the content on the dub basically, but we are done with the games for the week. But you know who else is also done with the dub? Annalise Rasmussen is done with the dub. As we move on to the transfers, Rasmussen confirmed a 3-year contract with Juventus till 2028. I don't know if there's going to be loans involved. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know if she gets in. I don't know where she plays. But what I do know is that she's had a ripper purple patch of form, and it's landed her a contract with a European giant in a way.
I don't necessarily think that this is a player that has been doing it for a long time and this move was inevitable. I think this is really a player that's just come into an insane patch of form. Juventus have looked out into the market. They've seen that Australian players coming into the W League. I mean, Chids is an example. It's worked.
Chids, Gala, there are more Aussies going over time and time again. And it's going to get bigger year on year on year. And I think if it sets the precedent for the next crop of youngsters that if you play well enough for long enough, you will get picked up. You will get seen. That's how it is.
I also think this sets a precedent, and I talked to you about this specifically, just about the players moving and just the fact that they are moving away from the W League and the fact that Holly McNamara has not moved. Holly McNamara is a far better player than Rasmussen, and I think it's really damning that Rasmussen takes the leap of faith to Juventus, a team that, isn't in the WSL, probably doesn't necessarily play her style of football, or the style of football she's used to from the Central Coast Mariners or from the Australian system, but is going to do it. Maybe Set will be out on loan, maybe we'll even come back, but it's the fact that she's done it, which I think to me is showing that more players are willing to take the step that a player like Holly McNamara should have taken, and the fact that she hasn't taken is just a damning on a career that should have blossomed in Europe 2 years ago at best.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. So I would say Rasmussen is a little bit of a reactionary signing. It does make Holly McNamara look a bit interesting and weird because she loves dominating in a league that's easier. But I think, look, I will have this conversation with you and I will 100% be on your side if she doesn't move this at the end of this dub season.
Yeah, sure.
Moving mid-season, look, don't get me wrong. We could make a top 10 list of like deadline day if we weren't going to podcast for 2 hours. We'd also add that in, and I'd put Yui Hasagawa at the top of it, and all the others. Chloe Kelly did it. Like there are some good signings that are deadline day signings, and I understand it is part of Woso and soccer as a whole, and it's been a very good addition. But I think there is something about finishing off the season, getting the move that you want at the right time so you can have a preseason, not just thrown into the deep end, because Holly McNamara does need things to be comfortable. We know this. Like, this is part of her personality on the pitch, part of her personality for the Matildas. Like, she's not coming on when thrown in the deep end when we're 2-0 down. She's coming on when she has the chance to win a game. She's coming on when we're 2-0 up and she wants to finish off the game. Like, this is the type of player she is, and she's an amazing player, and we know she's going to get that move. It's just when, and we can make the comment now and be like, okay, maybe it is a little bit too late, but this next window is the do or die. It's like, we know you're good enough. Just get out of here. Like, come on. Like, this is, and Rasmussen should be all the motivation you need to know that, like, you're so much better than her. Yeah. You should be able to, if she's going to Juve, like, let's find the level that you can go to. Like, I'm not saying Chelsea will just jump in on her because Chelsea have a hierarchy of players. But if Kanjinga goes in the summer to Chelsea, there's no reason Holly Mack couldn't lead the line at PSG. Personally, if someone tells me otherwise, I'd love to hear why. But I could see Holly Mack at PSG scoring 20 goals in the Arkema, no question about it.
And if she's going to use the Asia Cup as basically her own Facebook marketplace and just show herself and show her
it's
quality.
LinkedIn for her. It's guys, look at my goals. Look how good I am. Sign me. 100%.
I mean, for the hope of the Tillies and whatever, like that would be great. But
and for the hope of you like Macca. Like I know you don't like. I know she's a City fan. I know she's a City player, but like she is a very likable footballer. Like it's not like
I think she's to me, she's the antidote for the existential crisis that would have been a Sam Kerrless Tillies. She is.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, exactly. She's the reason she will become. And also, when this golden generation goes, she's going to be the top. She's going to be the one at the top, and she's got to set the standard for what this new crop of Tillies is going to do. And I mean, Jamila Rankin's already abroad, Gala's already abroad, and they're going to build their careers. And Saya's staying abroad. She's got to be the next one, and she's got to be like, there's a reason why I stayed a little bit longer, and it's to mature myself so that when I come to PSG or I go to VFL or I go anywhere where I think I can dominate, now's the time. We already really talked about Juric.
Yeah, we do not have to. I do not.
You don't want to spend more time talking about him, so we can go straight into your new goalie. Your new goalie.
I have so many thoughts.
Yeah, so this is Barbara Vitokova, Czech international goalkeeper. I mean, ex-Tottenham, by the way.
Can I tell you her record at Tottenham? Can I tell you this?
6 games?
6 games, 9 goals conceded.
Jesus.
I'm not making any judgments here. But I am going to.
I'm making judgments of your goat sporting director who needs off with the head at this point. But how are you signing ex-Spurs keepers? That's a disgracia.
I don't understand. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I know that for Slavia Prague, she has been very good, right? So
sure.
She's been great. Now, do I think that she is necessary? Do I think that potentially we needed, another centre back because our main centre back, Steph Catley, is going to leave because of the Asia Cup? Probably. Did you think maybe we needed another winger to cover for Caitlin Ford because of the Asia Cup? Probably. Maybe. I mean, I would have liked these things. I am not in control of what Arsenal signs. I know that now.
Sadly. In due time.
One day.
Yeah.
But no, for now, I know. I just trust Renee. I trust Claire Wheatley for all my insanity. I trust Claire Wheatley. But
I don't trust Claire. I trust Claire Wheatley to do exactly what you don't want, which is beautiful. I trust Claire Wheatley to make me happy.
But it's a loan. It's a loan. It's a loan.
It's a band-aid fix to what is happening, which is this goalkeeper crisis for Arsenal.
Again, I really think this is reactionary to it's like Claire Wheatley only watched the first game of Annika Borba because the last month has been absolutely exceptional to the point where I'm telling you there are some qualities of Annika Borba that are better than DVD.
No, I don't disagree with that, and you made a very good case for that as we've spoken through the week, and Borba's made a good case for that in general through her performances. But I think it genuinely was Wheatley was at the game, saw Borba's head nearly fall off her neck, and she was like, "All right, get me on the phone. Who's a goalie we can get? Like straight away. We need one now." Like that was kind of, I think it's just like if DVD goes down in the next game, you need someone. You need someone with experience. Like that is just it.
But like that's again, it's of course it's like top sides make these signings. Top sides sign for the craziest of scenarios because they're top sides and they need to make sure and they need to get results. But again, I would have liked for there to be more than just, a great signing in Holmberg, by the way, which, I can't deny that.
Unbelievable.
Another goalkeeper, sure.
Yeah, you need it. And I think, Everton need a Kelly Gargo replacement, and they've got theirs with Zara Kramzar, who was on loan at Como, who actually was starting to kick into some form for Como, had 3 goals in 2 games. Obviously, originally owned by Roma, but she's moved now to Everton with an option to buy at the end. But I think Kramzar, the goal she scored last week against, I believe it was Inter, that long shot was unbelievable. So if she can bring some of that fire and individual brilliance to Everton's front line, alongside Payne, alongside Mamiki, there are some players there that she will work well with. I can see it. I hope Claire Wheeler takes to it as well. She is a bit more of a 10, but can play up front. She gets into aggressive box crashing spaces, so will be a good signing for Everton. We'll see how that goes by the end of the year. Maybe I reckon 5 or 6 goals. I'll be looking at her versus Martha Thomas. We'll see who ends up with more goals at the end of the season. I think just looking at the Merseyside signings derby, I guess, which would be nice to look. But that ends our transfer talks as we jump into the Benchwarmers Awards. What do we have? Never bench again. I will start. We already spoke about her. Alba Serrato, Sevilla, give her the minutes, give her a shrine, give her every single chance you can, because I know what she's capable of, and the youth pedigree products always speak for themselves, and if she can turn her into anything special that we know she can be, then I'm excited for that.
And I hate to do this again. I really do. But it's
you don't hate to. Just stop saying you hate doing it. You just do it every week. To be fair, I low-key thought about doing this, doing the same thing, but I knew you'd do it for me. No, I knew you'd do it for me. I knew you'd do it for me. But
thank you.
She could be the real deal, low-key.
Lisa Narsland, I don't know what it is. These Norwegians, they're coming in, and I'm rooting them to play for United because I think that they're doing amazing work. And I think that Lisa Narsland specifically, this is a player that it's not like she's just come onto the scene. This is a player that's been in the United fold. It's just she hasn't gotten minutes, and she's got her minutes. She got her 2 goals, very vital goals. But beyond that, she just had a very, very good game. And I don't know, I rate her, and I think that United need players like this. United need B+ players in their squad in rotation to get games over the line like these.
She's responsible for 3 points. She's part of the narrative that is United trying to make back-to-back Champions League campaigns with a level of confidence that we didn't expect from them. I thought they weren't going to be able to manage both comps, and they dropped points for it, and they've been doing really well at not. But they're also doing a really good job of me hating Norway a little bit more, and it's really annoying because I'm becoming a little bit more Swede-pilled, considering my manager is a Swede. Norwegians are dominating for United, and we don't have any Norwegians in our Woso side. And Caro, if Caro moves to United, I'm done. My Norway supremacy is over, and I'm going super Swede pilled, and then I can join the dark side. That is the
How do you think I feel? How do you think I feel? 2 Swedes, 2 twins of Swedes, or 2 siblings of Swedes went to Tottenham. This is not good stuff.
Disgrace. And then you, oh no, but you got a Swede, and then you have the best Swede, and then you have, you have a fraud of a Norwegian, but you have a player of the tournament, Norwegian. Player of the tournament. The best player in the world. Yeah, Gianni's tournament winner, but we'll go to Super Stub of the Week. It has to be Stanik Floody. That goal, that is just how you announce yourself into a game. Just a moment. She's done it before as well. She had, I forgot who it was against, but she had that back heel, play to a 90th minute win. I can't remember. It was a 1-0 win, late on. But Canberra, it's good to have the luxury of a player like that with so much fire on the bench. It's very, very impressive. So Stanik Floody deserves her Stanik flowers.
I had Rinzola Babajida for Roma, and it's not just because of the super sub performance getting the point for Roma in that 3-3 draw, but it's also the fact that in the last minute of the game, she wanted more. She wanted to get another goal. She wanted to push Roma.
99th minute, there was an attempt for 4-3. You're right.
Yeah, and I just loved her form coming into the game. She had more time than I actually thought. She had a good 20 or so minutes on. So it was a really, really good super sub performance from a player and a team that needed it.
Unbelievable. Who is your come on the pod?
I know what your come on the pod is. So you go first because mine is in
my
reaction
come on the pod is it's not a I want her sacked because I don't want her sacked, but it is Sonia, and it's not and again we spoke about this already, but it's tactical genius versus player management versus idealism versus pragmatism. And all four of those factors make up the best managers in the world. Peremayu's doing it brilliantly. Bermudez is doing it well for Spain. Serena, Emma, the best of the best are able to do the brilliance and the genius of the football, and then they can also tame the dragons. Yeah, they can make sure that the fires are put out and that the culture at the club is perfect. And I understand there are big injuries, and having no Bjorn and no Bronze, it's a completely different look Chelsea, but this three at the back is not working. They're getting beaten on the sides. They're not the most defensively gifted fullbacks. They're very aggressive. Baltimore likes scoring goals. Ellie likes scoring goals, but is also they're both mistake prone. You've got to know your clientele. You've got to know your archetypal players and make the decisions that are going to affect the result of the game, and not be blind to the fact that there are other options. You can go to a back four. You can try something else. And I know Niamh Charles wasn't available, but there needs to be other options. You've got Nusken on the bench. You've got a German international captain on the bench, and you're bringing her on in the 75th minute when they're 4-0 down. It's not good enough. I've seen Nusken play left back for Germany. I've seen Nusken play right back for Chelsea. I've seen Nusken play up front for Chelsea. There is no reason why she shouldn't be on the ground. It doesn't matter where she plays. She's good enough to. She just doesn't let 5-1 happen. Personally, I don't think she lets 5-1 happen. And I think it's about getting leaders on the field. And you can. And I know your come on the pod is looking at the players, and the players need to galvanize. But for me, it's sometimes the galvanization just isn't the 11. It is the coach.
I just think, given the fact that I've seen Bon Pastor react in season, but also just as a manager to opposition, to challenges, to the fact that there are just some teams that will tactically outplay her, some teams that have better players, and thus she needs to find a way around it. To me, blaming or asking the question of Bon Pastor is negating the obvious problems, which I think are squad cohesion, which I think are what I have seen from Arsenal. What I've seen is what I've coined as late stage Jonassism. This idea that there is a coach for her. There is a coach that players obviously don't want to play for, and whether that means because there are players having disagreements with coaches over game time, over even what the Athletic talked about earlier in the season when it came to prestige in the team, when it came to hierarchy, when it came to who actually deserves their spot on the team versus who had earned it through maybe just being a regular member. And I'm thinking about the backlash the players are having on someone like Millie Bright, a captain who was supposed to be a legend of the team, now getting told that she should have retired, that her era is completely gone. And
And also, we didn't really mention it in the game, but Millie Bright wasn't terrible. Millie Bright did fight for her side. Like all our goals were on the left channel, trying to target Berman and Germa. Like Millie Bright held her own, had a few moments that were iffy, but I mean, she was solid, and you expect her to be solid. Sometimes you expect her to be more than solid, but she's not the same Millie Bright that we know, the Titan that is Millie Bright, the best centre half in the league by a mile, right? And like over time, like from a CV standpoint, maybe she's not the best centre half anymore, but like what she represents to Chelsea, her minimal decline, the minimal declines of little players all add up to
and that's what I was
results.
That's what I was just about to say. The moments are acceptable. I can accept that players are human and make mistakes. The absolute snowballing of form that can only be attributed to some sort of disconnect between the manager's goals and the players' goals, and that communication of where they are, at what stage they are in the progress, whether that just be because we've talked about it before, the arrogance of this Chelsea team, the arrogance of this Chelsea institution that, oh, well, because we haven't won the league, because it's not our God-given right to win the league, but by the way, we just give up. And that happens to pros and that happens to professional institutions who are just expected to win.
100%. And look, if there's anyone who's going to galvanize, not necessarily galvanize, but build back form, build back an identity, it's going to be Sonia. So
Agreed.
I'm excited to see Chelsea's back half of the season. I mean, if they lose to Tottenham, we'll be having different conversations. But that is all we have for the Benchwarmers Awards as we move into the final segment of the show, the What Would Kang Do Part 22. Wow, that rhymed. Beautiful.
That rhymed.
I was waiting for that. But I'm going to take a little bit of a step back this week as we have Leggy running the show for the Kang this week.
I had this idea through watching and binge watching box sets of Dragon's Den. It's a bit of a comfort show. I love it.
That's a normal thing that people do, by the way.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah,
but I thought about Dragon's Den, Lion's Den. I thought about the fact that, I mean, basically teams are pitching and teams and federations are pitching themselves to Michelle Kang. So what better than to have a Dragon's Den, Lion's Den remake where Kang is there and clubs are going and offering a percentage of their club or a percentage of their players over to Kang for
It's not even the Lion's Den. It's just the Lion Den. It's just one lion. It's Kang. Yeah. It's Kang literally just going like, just yes, no.
I'm in or I'm out is basically
I'm in or I'm out. But it's got to make sense for me, and I love that. I can see her petting like a little baby lion while she does it. It's brilliant. But I'm excited to know. Like, I mean, obviously the news coming out recently that she is hunting, she is lion sharking in the Liga F right now, which is crazy. Have you seen the teams that she's looking at?
Yes, but I really, really thought out of all the teams, and this one wasn't mentioned, I really thought CFF Madrid, seeing as it's like the women's club, it's like that.
They have no Menso ownership.
They have no Menso ownership. Like, I really thought that was the team that she was going to buy into, but no, she doesn't want to have like, you know,
she's not by the book. Kang has no book. I mean, other than the Kang Muniz manifesto, which I mean is coming, but
she wants solidarity. She's not hashtag girl power. She's more like hashtag me have power, basically.
Yeah, damn straight. And I want nothing less. Like, so the three teams I saw that she was linked to were Tenerife. Funny, Maestro will just go straight back, which is so good.
Come on, that actually has to happen.
Yeah.
Like, that actually has to happen.
I believe one of them was it Valencia?
Valencia, and then it was Badalonia,
Levante, Badalona,
which is like, I saw a meme online which was like, it's like the bad version of Barcelona because they're very close.
The Badalona, I mean the Kangalona. It's got to be changed, right? The Levante,
I really think
Kangalona.
It has to be Tenerife. It has to be Tenerife for two reasons. Okay, one, because Como is a team that I really thought she was going to buy into, and I mean, what's Tenerife if not the Spanish Como? I mean, like, you know, island, nice looking, I mean, touristy, like, etc., right? Second of all, like, Tenerife is just like a destination location. So, like, she will have her like LCL, which is like if you want to take a step into like the WSL, which is the best league in the world, NWSL, if you want to like go in and have like a competitive league like fixture, the Leon, which is like obviously like if you're the top of the top, and then like if you're like a little bit shit, or like if you're just starting off, or like ending your career, just like chuck off to like Tenerife. Like that has to be like her hotel destination, right? Like that has to be it.
I mean, what does UD stand for in UD Tenerife? It's Union Deportiva. It is the Kang Union. Honestly, I'm so excited. I can't wait till she owns a team in every country. Like, it is almost Monopoly. Like we have we have Mrs. Monopoly IRL. And I don't know if anyone saw the posts, like the comments on the post showing that she has interest in Spain. Like, I know there is a visceral, like, Kang community, a Kang community of people who hate her, which is like us, like we're the ringleaders of like I think we are the most vocal human beings in the world about our hatred for Kang. But there is this absolute diametrically opposition to our ideology that like let her own all of it, let her do it all, let her run the show.
I really think Spain is like, it's funny because there's one half of Spain which is like very much dominated by Barca, but also like the teams that respect Barca, which are like, we want nothing to do with Kang because of like what the Kang teams have inflicted on this Barcelona team, and like the obviously the problems with ownership and multi-conglomerate ownership, but like then there's the other side of Spain, which is like, we hate the RFEF so much that we need like this girl power woman to come in and save us, is basically like the two sides here.
Yeah, the RFEF as an institution, ideologically,
I mean, they're bankrupt.
economically,
They're literally bankrupt.
Yeah, every aspect of an illy, they are terrible. And I look, you can even look at it like a glass half full. Like, there will be another team competing. They won't be competing. It's just not what happens. Money. We are showing right now. I know LCL are doing well for a team that has been promoted, but there is only so far that money can get you. And Barcelona are proving it, because if Leon come up against Barca, I still think Barca are the favourites, even though Barca are financially bankrupt as an institution, and Leon are Kang-pilled and have all the money in the world. No amount of money is going to change the fact, even them signing Barcelona players, it's not going to change the fact that Barca are number one, and that the academies are the purest form of, I mean, it's not even the lion's den, it's the lion maturation. Like, if Kang really wanted to develop like a stronger hostility against the teams and get the wins she wants, she would listen to our ideas in prior of the academies and do the whole academy route, and not win Woso now, but win Woso in 10 years or in 15 years. And Tenerife, I don't think moves the narrative. I know they've been good this season and they might be in Champions League next year, and I assume that's why it'll be Tenerife.
It's tiers. I think it's really, I don't think she actually wants to dominate in every league that she goes to.
Are you allowed to have two teams you own in the same Champions League?
No,
so maybe,
right? Like, I think you need, like, I think that's a problem in Menso as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Like when Lyon and Man United were trying to be in the Europa League or something in the same time, and it wasn't really working. But I think it was because United were going to win the Europa and be in the UCL, and then they were both in the Europa, and then it just doesn't. And then what's it called? United came 14th. They lost the Europa League final, so it wasn't even a conversation anymore. But I mean, Young Menerife, I mean, it is coming. It is. I think it will come. It is sad. It is an institution, but I mean, look, it is just such a weird world. Like, I can't imagine her going down under. I can, but honestly,
no, I think
it might happen.
It might
happen in our lifetime, and we will be there for
Western United. I'm telling you, Western United.
Like a revive.
Yeah, revive Kang-pilled. I'm telling you.
The lion of the West, the dragon of the West, yeah? Jesus, oh my God. I mean, it is coming, but the lion's den will be there. It will be hunting week in, week out. The federations are watching the lion in her jungle, the king, the queen of the jungle, as I would say, in Maybe I might have to make a Lion Sleeps Tonight. For what
No,
Kang do
no.
25,
I banned
yeah.
you from songs. You have to only do raps
It's
now.
only rap. It's only rap.
raps.
Well, all right, fine. I will make sure that is the case. But that is all we have for What Would Kang Do 22, and that's all we have for the podcast this week. Thank you all for listening. We are on Spotify and YouTube with full audio-visual podcasts. We're on TikTok. We're smashing it. 10,000 views this week on TikTok. We are vibing. We're going crazy, and maybe it's because Chelsea are crap. Maybe it's because Arsenal are world champions, but everything is going our way at the moment, and we are appreciating all the support. We're responding to all your comments, good and bad and
Not
ugly.
me. Not me.
It's
I
all
don't
me.
respond.
It's all me. I mean, yeah, but I mean, Leggy would respond, but we have to veto some answers. But yeah, share what you think of us online. We got YouTube comment section, our Instagram. Anything you want us to do during the week, let us know, because we are going to be warming the benches till we can't. Which bless us. I mean, and we do it every week.
Every week.
Every week. Thank you all for listening, and have a great week.